The dangerous ideology of the chosen people, a warning to the world. Brothers and sisters, listen closely. Since the dawn of time, empires have justified their rule with stories of divine favor. Kings declared themselves appointed by heaven. Colonizers called themselves civilizers of lesser peoples. Fascists proclaimed their race superior. And always the world paid the price in blood. And today, we face that same danger once more. The Torah speaks of a chosen people, a covenant with Israel. You shall be a treasured nation above all others. But in that very same scripture, there is also a command. You shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in Egypt. Chosen, yes, but chosen for responsibility, not for supremacy. Chosen to live justly, not to rule arrogantly. Chosen to be a light unto nations, not a shadow over them. Yet that teaching has been twisted. It has been reshaped into an ideology of entitlement. What was once a burden has been turned into a weapon. What was once about justice is now used to justify domination. And today, the state of Israel stands as living proof of this distortion. They call their land promised. They declare themselves eternal victims, even as they act as conquerors. They demand sympathy for their pain, while inflicting unbearable suffering on millions. This is the poison of superiority. It convinces one people that their blood is redder, that their grief is heavier, that their survival matters more than anyone else's. It gives them permission to build walls and checkpoints, to choke entire cities, to drop bombs on homes, schools, and hospitals, and still call themselves righteous. But the Torah itself warns them. Do not oppress the stranger, for you too were strangers. Do not become oppressors, for you were once oppressed. And yet, those words are ignored, erased, replaced by the false banner of chosenness as supremacy. Look at the evidence. Since 1967, Israel has occupied Gaza and the West Bank. Despite countless United Nations resolutions declaring the settlements illegal, the expansion never stops. Why? Because they believe no one else has the right to that land. Apartheid is now reality. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, even Israel's own B'Tselem call it what it is, apartheid. One law for Jews, another law for Palestinians. Separate roads, separate lives, separate rights. Wars are waged in the name of survival. But survival does not mean bombing refugee camps. Survival does not mean turning Gaza into rubble. Survival does not mean starving millions behind walls. These are not acts of survival, they are acts of domination. And beyond the borders of Israel, this ideology spreads. It pressures governments. It demands billions in military aid. It silences critics by calling them anti-Semites. Chosenness becomes not only belief, but weapon. And history tells us what comes next. The Romans claimed divine right until they drowned the world in blood. Colonizers proclaimed superiority, leaving behind centuries of slavery and exploitation. Fascists declared themselves a master race and gave us world war and genocide. Every time humanity tolerated a people who declared themselves chosen above all others, it ended in fire and ruin. So I warn you, this is not just a Palestinian struggle. This is not just an Arab struggle. This is humanity's struggle. Because once the world accepts the idea that one nation can use scripture to justify supremacy, no law will stand. Once we excuse superiority in one land, others will follow. More nations will rise, claiming chosenness, weaponizing faith, trampling the weak. And when that day comes, no border will hold, no treaty will protect, and no people will be safe. The Torah was not given to sanctify arrogance. It was given to demand justice. But justice dies when faith is twisted into a weapon of domination. So let me be clear. No people are chosen above another. No nation is more human than another. No blood is redder. No grief is heavier. No child is more precious. The world must awaken. We must strip away this false cloak of superiority. We must declare together, every life is equal, every people is equal, every nation is equal. And let this be the warning. If humanity does not rise against this perversion of faith, then faith itself will be used as a weapon until every one of us is a target. This is the truth. This is the danger. And this is the call. Stand now or fall later.